Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Governor Andy Beshear gives another flood update on here in our region, and people impacted by the floodwaters get some outside help in the form of thousands of dollars worth of donations.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Friday. Man, I'm already struggling. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, it's this cold that has making my mind all, just not there.
I understand. It froze you out.
Well, this morning, I looked outside to the cars that were parked around mine. I was like, my windshield's frozen, and I didn't start it beforehand.
Yep.
So you should have seen me try to drive to work this morning. I was praying.
Well, at least it wasn't far for you.
No.
I remembered I'd got out of the shower and was getting dressed. I was like, I got to start my car. But I still had to wait just a few minutes for it to unthaw this morning. So you're going to have to do that today. Give yourself plenty of time, because I want to play a little game. Let's see if you can tell on this map, the temperature map, where the clouds are and the clouds are not. Let's take a look. Can you see where you think they might be this morning? Look at Moorhead at 30, Ashland at 30, but you see teens close to the Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky borders out there. Jonesville's at 18, Monticello's at 17, Manchester's at 20, Clintwood's at 20, and then you got 30 up there at Moorhead and Ashland. So they're up there, little clouds up there toward the I-64 corridor. The rest of us cloud-free and chilly this morning. 2 degrees warmer in Moorhead this morning than it was 24 hours ago. 11 degrees colder in Jonesville this morning. I figured those would be a lot more skewed, but not so much this morning, but still colder in many areas. Max warming needed on your coffee meter this morning. Get you a warm beverage as you're heading out the door, no matter if it's coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever. It's going to be needed, because temperatures will climb to around 40, but winds will pick up, and it's going to make it feel colder later today. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, in his weekly Team Kentucky update, Governor Andy Beshear gave us a deeper look at flood relief for Eastern Kentuckians and announced big funding for local school districts and fiscal courts. We have some of those highlights from the governor's update. Governor Andy Beshear says 2,221 Eastern Kentucky renters and homeowners are missing out on FEMA aid because they have missed out on property inspections or phone calls from the agency. He urged those people to head to one of 7 disaster recovery centers soon, because those sites close on Tuesday, November 22nd.
FEMA's given us these statistics to try to get folks to be able to perfect their claim. In other words, to get the money that they need.
To date, FEMA has paid out more than $88 million in aid and has approved more than 4,000 applications out of the more than 16,000 submitted.
National Flood Insurance Programs paid out $23.7 million. U.S. Small Business Association, $55.8 million.
13 Perry County properties were approved for FEMA's Property Acquisition Program. It's a voluntary program where the agency will buy a person's property if it is located in an area where it may be unsafe to rebuild.
The project protects the community from the direct impact of severe storm events. And remember, if you live in a dangerous area and FEMA helps you one time, you may not be able to qualify the next.
The governor announced funding to local school districts from the Eastern Kentucky Safe Fund. $3.2 million is going to Knott County schools, and $6.2 million is going to Letcher County schools for financial support after the flood.
There are schools in Letcher County and in most counties were also the place to go to get the much needed essentials. And what'd you see there? You saw our educators.
More than $900,000 was awarded to the Knott County Fiscal Court to cover a FEMA match and employ a floodplain planner. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Well, the governor also announced more than $200,000 that was awarded to the Knott County Water and Sewer District. Well, the governor also said as of Thursday morning, Kentucky has had 369 forest fires this fall. Those fires equate to more than 29,000 acres having burned during the fire season, which began October 1st. Forestry agencies from Virginia, South Carolina, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and Texas sent crews to help assist in extinguishing those fires. Well, as communities throughout the region continue to work to recover from July's flood, outside help, well, it's still rolling in. Yesterday, 2 truckloads of supplies were delivered to Manna from Heaven in Myra, as Rockingham Cooperative out of Virginia donated more than $80,000 in food, clothing, hygiene items, and more to help the people of Pike and Letcher counties recover. The president and founder of the outreach says the help came when the people in her community need it most.
People's having problems coming up with food. Their houses ain't completely finished yet. it's been real rough on people.
Well, those involved said the help from Rockingham Cooperative was a godsend, and any other help is always welcome, be it donations or volunteers. If interested, you can call Tackett at 606-213-8007. Well, Bluegrass Care Navigators is expanding to open a 7th regional office. The new location will serve residents in Pike, Magoffin, and Floyd counties. Bluegrass Care Navigators provides hospice care, including physical, personal, emotional, and spiritual care to patients and families who are no longer receiving treatments to cure their terminal illness. The organization is a nonprofit that does not turn people away based on their ability to pay for services. Johnson Central students unveiled their latest project on Thursday. The Eagle X Solar Car Race Team invited sponsors to a solar car showcase catered by the culinary students, highlighting a project that has been ongoing since last year. The solar car called Holler Pride could soon be entered into endurance speedway races, but first the team wanted to show off its wheels to those who supported and funded this solar car project.
We've had so many in our community that want to give material or time or expertise, but others money, and we want to thank them for what they've done and show them what their efforts have created.
Well, Holler Pride is powered and inspired by the community, and the team hopes to complete the project soon to inspire the community with its power. Well, the superintendent of Cumberland Gap National Historical Park will serve in the same role at the new River Gorge National Park and Preserve in West Virginia. Charles Sellers will also manage the Gauley River National Recreation Area and Bluestone National Scenic River in southern West Virginia. Sellers has also had roles at Tennessee's Fort Donaldson National Battlefield and National Cemetery, Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area, and the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Well, thank you so much for getting your Friday morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we come back, Governor Andy Beshear defends his executive orders involving medical marijuana in Kentucky as state politicians criticize the move.
And it's another cold morning out there, and there is more winter preview in our forecast before you get a break. I'll tell you about it in about 3 minutes.